Welcome to the Tech Clean California onboarding video for contractors installing heat pump HVAC projects. This overview will cover key requirements for heat pump HVAC projects, such as incentive rates, qualifying equipment, and required documentation. First, we'll begin with a bit about HVAC incentive levels and key program requirements. To start things off, we'll begin with a reminder about the definitions of multifamily and single-family projects. The TEC program defines a single-family home as a 1 to 4 individual single-family residences, including a residential property with a maximum of 4 dwelling units, an accessory dwelling unit or junior accessory dwelling unit, an individual homeowner residence within a condominium, residential cooperative, or other similar property governed by a homeowners association or similar collective organization, or an individually owned mobile or manufactured home that is on a foundation and does not have an axle or license plate. Multifamily projects are those where installations are occurring for a property with 5 or more dwelling units. Please visit the Contractor Knowledge Base and the Tech Clean California public reporting site for more details about multifamily projects. $20 million became available July 2025 for single-family HVAC projects. The budget is split in half for market rate and equity incentives. The goals of this relaunch were to incorporate quantitative and qualitative data to 1. Adjust incentive rates to maximize customer benefits while ensuring the program remains financially sustainable over the long term. 2. Increase the benefit per incentive dollar spent by targeting higher saving potential customers while retaining a simple overall structure. And 3. Limit bill impacts wherever possible. A few key rules to highlight include all single-family residents must reside in California, retrofit projects only, no new construction allowed, and customers are required to enroll in a demand response program. Let's take a look at the incentives offered from the Tech Clean California initiative. The first question contractors will need to ask when determining the incentive amount for a project is whether or not the tenant's income meets the income requirements to attain the equity incentive. We'll talk about this more on the next slide. Next, the contractor should determine whether or not the customer had previous AC, as well as if the preheating system will be fully decommissioned. Please pause and read to see how the answers to each of these questions affects the final incentive amount per unit. We also want to remind you of a few key rules regarding incentives. Contractors must pass 100% of the incentive to the customer. This can be done at the point of sale as an instant discount, or as a delayed pass-through after you have received the incentive amount from Tech Clean California. Incentives are available for all replacement types except heat pump to heat pump conversions. Lastly, there are opportunities to stack additional incentives with the Tech incentive. To find additional incentives, visit incentives.switcheson.org/contractors. As we previewed on the previous slide, customers also have the ability to earn a higher equity incentive. The equity incentive is available for residents who verify their income to show that the household income is either of the following, whichever is less stringent: at or below 80% of the area's median income, or at or below 250% of the federal poverty level. Customers should visit the Tech Equity Incentives Verification Portal, tech-incomeportal.com, and enter their county and household size to see their personalized household income limit. A PDF of the verification will be sent to the customer and contractor and must be uploaded into the reservation in IRIS to obtain the additional incentive amount. Let's take a look at air-to-water heat pump incentives. First, the global warming potential of the refrigerant is what determines the incentive level per unit. For standard refrigerants, the incentive will be $3,500 per unit, but for equipment with a low global warming potential refrigerant, something that is below 150, the incentive per unit will be $5,000. As a reminder, Reservation requests or pre-approvals are submitted through IRIS, just like with air source heat pumps. Eligible units are defined as 1. An air source heat pump that has a refrigerant to water or water/glycol heat exchange. 2. Able to provide space heating and potentially also space cooling and domestic hot water. And 3. Capable of achieving a heating coefficient of performance of 1.7 or greater at full load capacity at a dry bulb outdoor temperature of 5 degrees Fahrenheit and a leaving water temperature of at least 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Please note, if you have an air-to-water heat pump that meets the above requirements but it is not listed on our qualified products list, please reach out to us at tech.contractor@energy-solution.com. Air-to-water heat pump projects are all considered market rate and use the same $10 million budget as market air source heat pump projects. About what air source heat pumps qualify for the tech incentive. Eligible units must be Energy Star listed models. Products can be 2-stage or variable capacity systems. 1-stage systems are not eligible. New gas furnaces and hybrid systems cannot be installed as part of the heat pump project. Existing furnaces can be left in for backup heating so long as the heat pump is sized to meet the home's heating needs. To find the QPL, visit products.switcheson.org/, click Heat Pumps, and filter using the Eligible for Tech Clean California button. To enter the equipment in IRIS, you'll need to enter in the Energy Star ID in the Source ID field. Please note, this is different than previous iterations as it is not the AHRI ID. And finally, a maximum number of systems per households is 2. Diving deeper into a bullet point that we mentioned on the previous slide, dual fuel systems will be allowed for systems installed with existing furnaces only. New furnaces installed alongside the heat pump or hybrid heat pumps will not be allowed. The heat pump must still be the primary heating source, sized appropriately for the home, and the furnace must be set to backup for one of the following options: set up to run in emergency scenarios only, or set up to use the blower only. If a heat pump is added to a system, we will ask a few additional questions in the claim form. What changeover temperature was programmed? What is the age of the furnace? And what controls are used to enable dual fuel operation? Diving into the limit that was mentioned on the previous slide a bit further, let's take a look at this table for specifics regarding the incentive limits per project. As you can see, the number of condensers correlates to the number of rebates that are installed. There's a maximum of 2 condensers incentivized per tech project. Another important document that must be uploaded into the claim form is the full HERS package. If it's required by the local authority having jurisdiction, or AHJ, then tech will also require that it is submitted into the claim form. The submission must include all pages of the HERS report, the CF1R, 2R, and 3R. Allowable exceptions for not providing a HERS report include: the building is a mobile home, the system is a ductless mini-split system in an exempt climate zone, asbestos is present, the install is an air-to-water heat pump installation, or other. If other, you must input the reason into the IRIS claim field. If the project meets any of the above circumstances and a HERS test is not required, then a PNNL quality install export containing the nameplate photos of the condenser of the new equipment is required in lieu of a HERS package. Please watch the PNNL quality install video for more information. All single-family HVAC projects will require the submission of customer-signed tech terms and conditions, or T's and C's. This document is found on the Switches On Incentives Resources page with options in multiple languages. See the switcheson.org/contractors-incentive-resources. This document must be included at the time of reservation. It must be dated on or after our launch date, and it must be completely filled out. We reserve the right to reject reservations that do not have all the required information. Next, let's take a look at the TechClean California Customer Terms and Conditions document. This will require the customer name, address, signature, as well as the account holder's signature, in addition to demand response enrollment confirmation, and it must be dated on or after launch date. To know when that launch date is, please reference the knowledge base article Customer Terms and Conditions and Invoice Requirements to find more information about allowable signature dates. And finally, the document must be fully completed or the reservation will be rejected. Please ensure that the required checkboxes are checked and the information must match what you type into Iris. Next, we'll chat through the reservation requirements for claims. Pre-approved reservations are a requirement for all single-family HVAC projects. As soon as you have the information to reserve a claim, which we will outline on the next slide, you should start a reservation in Iris to ensure the project will be pre-approved for funding. One key timing element to keep in mind is that reservations expire 120 days after they have been pre-approved by default. We can extend reservations on a case-by-case basis. Please email tech.contractor@energy-solution.com with a request prior to your reservation expiring, and an account manager will provide instructions. Finally, reservations are for a specific customer. Once a reservation is submitted for pre-approval, the address and customer name cannot be changed. If the customer information changes between an approved reservation and a submitted claim, it may be subject to rejection. Valid reservations must have the following required information in Iris: the customer address, customer name, the 3CE customer status, the customer's AMI range, a signed Tech Customer Terms and Conditions document uploaded to Iris, as well as a date of the Tech Customer Terms and Conditions that were signed, manually inputted into Iris, the previous primary fuel type, the previous air conditioning status, the projected installed equipment details including quantity, QPL status, as well as if backup heating is in place. Any equity projects or any other federal incentives applied for, the proof of the income range, as well as the installation county. Furthermore, we'll ask, is the home owner or renter occupied, with a few additional questions related to that. Take a look at the reservation process for single-family HVAC and air-to-water heat pump claims. As a first step, create a new reservation on the main dashboard of Iris. Click the button New Pre-Approval located at the top right of the screen. From there, you'll be asked to provide the required information and documentation. This is the information that was highlighted on a previous slide. Once all information has been inputted into the pre-approval, you'll submit the reservation. From there, a pre-approval object will be created for the entire project, and a funder request will be created within that object for all programs this project might be eligible for. Based on the answers you provided, the funder request will be approved or rejected within 2 weeks. Once all the funder requests for your reservation have been approved or rejected, you are approved to move forward with your project and can turn your reservation into a claim by pressing the Start a Claim for this pre-approval button. If the customer information changes between an approved reservation and a submitted claim, it may be subject to rejection. Once the pre-approval has been created into a claim, you'll need to fill out the rest of the claim form. We'd like to now point out a few new IRIS fields that are required for all single-family HVAC projects. These will always show up and do not show up only when certain answers are provided in other questions. Is this a 3CE customer? What income range does this customer fall into? Did the customer confirm they will enroll in a demand response program? What is your existing heating distribution type? Did the customer have a previous AC system? Invoice material cost, or the total cost for all materials used on the project. Did you install backup electric resistance heat strips? And the terms and conditions signed date. There will be several new dependent claim extension questions as well. These are questions that show up when you answer a previous question with a certain answer. Let's take a look at a few examples. For the question, did the customer confirm that they will enroll in a demand response program? And the answer is yes. The claim will populate the additional question, which demand response program did the customer enroll in? For the question, was HERS testing required? An answer of yes will require a HERS report upload, while an answer of no will require a P and an LQI tool report upload and a HERS exemption reasoning. Please pause to read other dependent claim extensions on the claim form. With the new air-to-water heat pump product type now available in IRIS, there will be some equipment-specific information that we ask in the claim form as well. Please pause and read to see applicable claim fields. Let's take a quick look at adding equipment information into IRIS. As a key reminder, count the outdoor condensing units only. There's a limit of 2 units per single family site. Enter in the serial number for the outdoor condensing units only. The HVAC QPL and requirements are found on our contractor knowledge base. And if you know the Energy Star ID, select a product type first from the list, enter the reference number as the source ID, and you may need to wait a few moments for the system to load. Next, we'll transition to the demand response requirement for heat pump HVAC. First, what do the new requirements mean and why are they important? Demand response programs reward customers for making temporary changes in energy use, usually to reduce electricity usage during peak hours. As California continues to electrify, we see in the evening or peak hours that there is more electricity demand on the grid as compared to the middle of the day when solar and clean energy are more abundant. This makes it harder for California to provide enough clean electricity to meet that evening demand for electricity. So, in order to continue to electrify and make California's electric supply cleaner with more renewable resources, we have to shift some of the electricity demand out of the evening hours and into the daytime. Demand response programs help make this happen by encouraging participants to make slight changes to their electricity usage during the times that it matters most. There are all sorts of demand response programs which customers can enroll in to meet this requirement. Some will text or email customers to reduce energy usage during summer evenings, and some will actually connect technology such as a smart thermostat and communicate automatically with the equipment so customers don't have to actively do anything to save energy. Even when appliances are connected, customers always have the option to adjust their equipment settings or opt out. And to sweeten the deal, demand response programs reward customers financially for signing up and or for participating on an ongoing basis. We have a flyer about all of this for you to provide to your customers. It'll explain these concepts and the benefits, as well as address common concerns. Both this flyer and the program terms and conditions link to more information about demand response program choices. Now, we'll go into the details of what's being asked of customers and contractors for the demand response requirement. For demand response, the customer will specifically agree to the requirement by checking boxes on the tech program terms and conditions, which they will need to sign. If the customer doesn't have an eligible demand response program in their area, as listed on our program website, then the enrollment requirements do not apply to them. Contractors will need to confirm that all the necessary boxes on the terms and conditions are checked, or else the incentive cannot be paid. The terms and conditions contains links and QR codes for customers to learn more information and review their enrollment options. Relatedly, customers receiving the Tech Clean California heat pump HVAC incentives are not required to enroll on a time of use rate or in a water heater rewards program. Please also note that combination space and water heating air-to-water heat pump installs are required to program the water heater portion to follow a time of use rate, even if the customer is not enrolled in a time of use rate. And finally, getting back to demand response, in their enrollment, all customers must actively enroll in a qualifying demand response program. We can't facilitate this on the back end for them. Customers will also have the option to enroll in any qualifying demand response program of their choice. As discussed on the previous slide, there are many options. An enrollment can take as little as 3 minutes. Contractors are encouraged to familiarize themselves with the options and are invited to call out any option which they think will be the best for their customer to help narrow the choices. Contractors are expected to help the customer enroll before completing the sale. Our last segment is about some final reminders for your project. Friendly reminder to stay up to date on the tech and partner program budgets to ensure funding is available. Check out the links on screen for the budget table, as well as the knowledge base article, How to Navigate the Tech Budget Table, for more details on how to read that table. The budget table is updated at least weekly. The program team sends budget emails at least once a week when the budget is running low. And when funding is nearly reserved, we aim to announce via email the last day to create reservations. Please note, however, that funding is first come, first served. Any reservation created is not guaranteed to be approved in funding until budget impact is clear. As we end this video, we wanted to leave you with some resources for navigating the tech program. Please pause and read through the complete list. Thank you very much for attending this training and participating in Tech Clean California to install heat pump HVAC. We look forward to working with you.